There's something about cars that almost nobody notices. While most people think they're taking good care of their vehicle, experienced drivers are fixing small problems with things so simple they almost sound like a joke, and they're saving money year after year without anyone realizing it. What's even more surprising is that some of these tricks aren't in the owner's manual. You won't hear about them at the repair shop, and you definitely won't find them at your local auto parts store. I started trying a few of these methods on my own truck, just out of curiosity, and I can tell you they really do work. Stick around until the end, because there's one tip most people completely overlook, and it can totally change the way you take care of your vehicle. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because there's a new video like this every week. Now, let's get right to it. Over time, one small detail starts to stand out. Your wheel lug nuts lose their shine, they start looking dull and worn, and they make the whole vehicle look neglected, even when it's actually well maintained. The good news is, there's an easy fix. No paint, no expensive products, and no trip to the mechanic. One of the most unexpected tricks uses something you'd normally throw away, the neck from a regular plastic water bottle. It lets you reach around the lug nuts more easily, clean away built-up dirt and grime, and make your wheels look noticeably better. The next problem is something every driver in colder states knows all too well, especially if you head out early in the morning. Your headlights can end up covered with frost. That's not just a cosmetic issue, it cuts down your visibility when you need it the most. The solution is surprisingly simple. An ordinary wax candle. Rub a thin layer of wax over the headlight lens, then spread it evenly. It creates a protective coating that makes it harder for frost to stick. After that, just wipe it down with a clean cloth, and you're good to go. Another expense many drivers deal with is buying car air fresheners. They never seem to last very long, and replacing them over and over adds up. A simple alternative is a wooden clothespin with a few drops of essential oil. The wood absorbs the scent, then you simply clip it onto one of your AC vents, letting the airflow spread the fragrance throughout the cabin in an inexpensive, long-lasting way. And those are just a few examples of how a handful of simple tricks can completely change the way you take care of your vehicle. The wooden clothespin absorbs your favorite scent surprisingly well, much better than a sponge or any synthetic fabric. After a few minutes, just wipe away any excess with a paper towel. Then clip the clothespin onto one of your AC vents. The result is a fresh, long-lasting scent that costs next to nothing. As the years go by, your tires start losing that deep black finish. They turn dull, faded, and gray, making even a well-maintained vehicle look neglected. It's one of those small details that a lot of people overlook, but it can completely change the way your vehicle looks. The good news is, you don't need an expensive tire shine from the auto parts store. All you need is water and a little citric acid, the same kind you can buy at most grocery stores for just a few dollars. Mix it with water, apply it with a cloth or sponge, and scrub the surface of the tire. In just a few minutes, the rubber takes on a much deeper black finish, making the whole vehicle look cleaner and better cared for. Now here's a trick that almost nobody talks about if you want your vehicle to smell fresh for a whole lot longer. Most people rely on regular car air fresheners, but the scent fades quickly, and before you know it, you're buying another one. There's a much smarter alternative. Stop by your local pharmacy and pick up a small disposable syringe. They're inexpensive and easy to find. Fill it with your favorite fragrance, then apply a tiny amount to hidden areas of the seat fabric or the foam beneath the upholstery. The secret is that the fragrance doesn't just sit on the surface. It soaks into the material, allowing the scent to stay trapped inside much longer than any air freshener hanging from the rearview mirror. And what's really surprising is how much this changes the way your vehicle smells throughout the entire week. Now let's talk about a problem that frustrates just about every driver, and usually shows up without any warning. Your windshield wipers start squeaking, dragging across the glass, and leaving streaks right when you need a clear view the most. The funny thing is, most people assume that means it's time to replace the wiper blades immediately, but that's not always the case. At night, it becomes a real headache. The glare from oncoming headlights, reflections off the road, and those streaks across the windshield can completely ruin your visibility. What's surprising is that the fix doesn't require an expensive product or a trip to the repair shop. A simple bar of soap can do the trick. Rub it directly along the rubber edge of the wiper blade, and you'll notice the difference right away. The rubber becomes softer, more flexible, and glides across the windshield without the friction that causes squeaking and streaking. After that, just wipe away the excess with a dry cloth, removing built-up dirt at the same time. The results are almost immediate. The windshield stays cleaner, and the wipers move much more quietly. Now let's look at another part of the vehicle that almost nobody thinks about cleaning properly, even though it makes a big difference in how fresh the interior feels. The dashboard air vents. The problem is that dust settles deep inside places you can't easily reach. When you try cleaning them by hand, you often end up pushing the dirt around instead of removing it. There's a smarter way. Cover the vent with a cloth, then use an air compressor to blow air through it. The air pressure forces the dust out, while the cloth catches all the debris. In just a few seconds, it feels like your vehicle's ventilation system has been refreshed. No disassembly, and almost no effort. Here's another problem just about every driver has dealt with at some point. Your vehicle's door starts squeaking every time you open or close it. At first, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but after a while, it's impossible to ignore. That usually happens because grease builds up on the door hinges, trapping dust and dirt until it turns into a thick layer that creates even more friction. And here's the part most people don't expect. The solution isn't another expensive lubricant. It's an ordinary bar of soap. Rub it directly onto the door hinges, and it creates a light lubricating layer that reduces friction and gets rid of the squeak almost instantly, without attracting nearly as much dirt as traditional grease. The door opens more smoothly, feels lighter, and the annoying noise simply disappears. But there's one more important detail about this kind of problem that very few people know, and it can help keep that squeak from coming back anytime soon. For this method, all you need is a plain paraffin or wax candle, the kind most people already have around the house, or can pick up for under $5. The secret isn't the candle itself. It's how you use it. Warm the tip of the candle just enough to soften the wax. Then apply it directly to the spots where the door hinge is squeaking. The wax works its way into the small gaps, reduces the dry metal-to-metal contact, and cuts down the friction almost immediately. The results are nearly instant. The squeak disappears without using grease, spray lubricant, or any specialty automotive product. Now let's talk about another problem that just about every driver has dealt with, and it's more frustrating than it seems. Stains on your seats. Coffee, soda, fast food, mud, they all build up over time, and it often feels like those stains never completely come out. The worst part is that they make the entire interior look neglected, even when you actually take good care of your vehicle. To tackle them, use a foaming upholstery stain remover, the kind you can find at just about any grocery store or big box retailer. Spray it directly onto the stained area, then scrub with a medium bristle brush using gentle circular motions. It's not about scrubbing harder. It's about working the foam into the fabric with steady, repeated movements. As the foam penetrates the upholstery, it loosens the dirt that's trapped deep inside the fibers. Then wipe away the residue with a damp microfiber cloth, repeating the process until the foam no longer comes up dark. The surprising part is how dirty that cloth gets after just a few passes. Before long, the seat starts bringing back its original color, making the interior look cleaner, fresher, and even newer. Now, moving away from the seats, there's another part of your vehicle that almost everyone overlooks during routine cleaning: the floor mats. Most people think a vacuum cleaner gets the job done, but in reality, it only removes the dirt sitting on the surface. The grime that really makes a difference stays buried deep inside the fibers. To clean your floor mats the right way, you'll use something almost nobody would ever think of: a brand new toilet brush that's never been used. It may sound strange, but that's exactly what makes this trick so effective. When you scrub the mat firmly with the brush, its stiff bristles reach deep into the fibers, pulling out dirt that a vacuum cleaner simply can't remove. The most surprising part is seeing how much grime comes out, even from floor mats that look perfectly clean. It turns out to be one of the simplest and least expensive ways to give your vehicle's interior a true deep cleaning. And here's something even more interesting. That same brush can handle another tough job: cleaning your wheels and brake components. Spray your favorite wheel cleaner onto the wheels, then start scrubbing with the brush. It reaches into tight spots where ordinary sponges can't, loosening the thick layer of brake dust, road grime, and mud that builds up over time. Even wheels that look heavily neglected can start looking almost new again with far less effort than most people expect. Now let's talk about a much more serious problem, one that most drivers never notice until it's already happening: water showing up on your vehicle's carpet for no obvious reason. Many people assume they have a leak inside the cabin, but in many cases, the real problem is hidden somewhere else. Your vehicle has a drain for the HVAC system, usually located behind the front fender liner, that allows rainwater and condensation to drain away properly. Over time, especially if you drive every day through leaves, dirt, and road debris, that drain can become clogged. When that happens, the water has nowhere to go, so it begins leaking into the floor of the vehicle. And here's the step almost nobody takes. Access that area, loosen the fasteners holding the inner fender liner in place, and clear out the blockage until the drain flows freely again. It's a simple job, but ignoring it can lead to water leaks, musty odors, mold, and even costly damage to the carpet and the vehicle's interior. When you look at all these tips together, one thing becomes obvious. The most frustrating car problems usually aren't complicated. Most of the time, people simply don't know the easy fix. Now I'd like to hear from you. Would you actually use a brand new toilet brush to deep clean your vehicle's interior? Or is that a step too far for you? And even more importantly, which of these tips do you think is absolutely brilliant, and which one would you never try under any circumstances? Leave your answer in the comments. These kinds of tricks always spark a great debate between drivers who love practical solutions and those who prefer sticking with traditional methods. And if you want even more tips to help you avoid unnecessary repairs and save money on your vehicle, click on the video that's on your screen right now. It covers even more car care tricks that most people have never been told, and they could end up saving you a lot of money.